Bada! What's going on, guys? Dr. Grayson Wickham here with Movement Vault. So we're going over a CrossFit Open 20.2 mobility warm-up today. And so 20.2 announced yesterday is 20-minute AMRAP of 4 dumbbell thrusters and going into 6 toes to bars into 24 double unders. So basically, a lot of movement going on, just going to keep on pacing yourself. And we've got a lot of overhead demand on those thrusters as well as those toes to bars, and a lot of core work as well. And we're going to have to get the calves engaged for those double unders. So we've got a bunch of different pieces that we're going to work on today, from the shoulders all the way down to the calf musculature. So I'm going to give you a little warm-up routine to get you primed up and ready to crush 20.2 today. So I guarantee if you do this beforehand, before your workout, you're going to do even that much better. So we're going to activate muscles, we're going to stretch out muscles, we're going to stretch and activate, and before we do that, we're going to go ahead and release some of these muscles to open up some ranges of motion. So what we're going to need today is this foam roller here, a padded mat. At the end, we're going to do a little hold here, so some type of dumbbell. So use your dumbbell that you're going to be using for the workout, or you can use a kettlebell. I'm going to use a kettlebell. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up these lat muscles right here. So we've got the big lats right here, going to be a real big player in the toes to bars as well as the dumbbell thrusters. So if this is tight here, that's going to limit your overhead position with those thrusters and or those toes to bars. So we're essentially going to roll here on the side lat musculature, and then we're going to hit these posterior rotator cuff muscles as well. So to do that, we're going to take our foam roller here, and we're going to start off just on our side here. And we're going to do this piece here for about 1 to 2 minutes per side. We're going to start on the right side. And the key here is to make sure your shoulder is flexed up the whole time. So you want to think about bringing your bicep close to your ear, and you're actively trying to reach back and get as much shoulder flexion or as much overhead motion as you can in that shoulder. And then we're going to simply kind of oscillate at about 2 to 3 inches at a time. And I'm going to explore around here and find some kind of tight little tender spots in that area. And I'm going to rotate forward so that my chest is forward. And then I'm going to slowly rotate upward so that my chest and my belly button is pointed upward. So when I'm in this position, I'm hitting the posterior rotator cuff more so. And as I start to spin around to the front, then I'm hitting more of those lats. And again, just kind of rolling. And if I find a nice tender spot, again, I'm staying active here, keeping this arm upward. And then I can get in some rotations, what we call external and internal rotation of the shoulder. So essentially nice and slow, pointing the thumb down, pointing the thumb up. I can do the exact same thing once I'm up here. Thumb down and thumb up, keeping a nice tucked chin, not letting the head hang down. So again, I'm going to spend 1 to 2 minutes per side on that piece. So that's the first kind of muscle fascia release portion that we're going to do. Again, we're opening up that range of motion. That's the first thing we're going to do. And then we want to stretch out and activate that range of motion, because that's the most important part. So what we're going to do now, again, you're doing this for both sides. I'm just showing you an example of one side. So we're going to go down on our stomach here, and we're going to use this foam roller here again. We're going to make a straight arm here, so we're going to keep the elbow straight, make a fist, thumb's going to be up, and you're going to keep your bicep pretty close to your ear here. And from here, you can go ahead and put your forehead down on the ground like this, or you can keep it up. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to kind of let this kind of swivel your chest, the left side of your chest, because my left arm's up, until you feel a good stretch in the front of that shoulder and that lat. So now we're stretching out the muscles that we just released. And once we're in this end range stretch, what we're going to do is we're going to drive our fist down into the ground, or in this case, into the foam roller. So we're stretching out that muscle, and then we're activating it by driving it down into the foam roller. And I'm going to activate this for 20 seconds. So I'm going to really push down, for 20 seconds here. Maybe I can sink down a little bit deeper into the stretch as I'm activating down in that 20-second piece. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in this stretched out position, and then I'm going to lift my arm up off the foam roller as high as I can. Now, if my chest lifts up, obviously I'm going to go way up here. So that's why I like people to keep their head down on the ground here, so their forehead down, like this. And so you're going to try to activate as high as you can, lifting that arm up. You're going to hold that for 10 seconds, so you're activating all the muscles on the back side of the shoulder this time. So to recap on this one, you're going to go ahead and sink down into it, 20 seconds down, 10 seconds up, pulling up. And so that's going to really stretch out and activate that shoulder. Again, doing the other side as well. Next piece we're going to do here is for what we call the upward rotation of the scapula or the shoulder blade. It's going to be really important in the toes to bars as well as the dumbbell thrusters. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this foam roller here. We're going to keep our arms straight, elbows straight as well, thumbs up. You're going to kick your hips back. You're going to place the hands on the foam roller, and you're going to get kind of in this end range stretch here. So you're going to push your chest down to the ground. Once you're in a nice stretch, you're going to go ahead and punch your arms upward and then bring them downward. So you're elevating your shoulder blades, and then you're depressing them down. Punching up as far as you can and bringing them back down. And I want you to hold for 5 seconds in each position here. So you're 5 up, and then 5 down, pulling it down. 5 up, and pulling it down. So you're doing your best to really push out and pull down in each position. And again, holding for 5 seconds. So we're going to be done with the foam roller on that piece now. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get after those shoulders again, because very demanding shoulder workout here. So we're going to get into some Y, I, and T holds. So what that's going to look like, we're going to go face down. The hands are going to be by the side, palms up, elbows straight. I like to make a fist. Again, you can keep your forehead kind of down on the ground. And what you're going to do is you're going to extend your shoulders as far as you can, pushing your palms to the ceiling. You're going to hold this for 10 seconds. And you're going to fight for as much range of motion and activation as you can. Holding this position for 10 seconds. You're going to swivel your hands down as you squeeze your shoulder blades, coming up into a T position. Holding this for 10 seconds. Coming all the way up, swiveling your thumbs up now, elbows straight, holding this position for 10 seconds. Again, fighting for as much height as you can. Coming back into a T, squeezing those shoulder blades. And again, coming back to the middle, the starting position, flipping your palms to the ceiling, extending your shoulder blades. And again, holding 10 seconds per position. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a different view here just to show you what it looks like from this angle. Again, 10 seconds here, palms up, hands by the side, elbows straight. Flip the palms down, squeezing those shoulder blades, lifting the arms as high as you can go. Don't let them fall. As you transition to the top piece, holding for 10 seconds, elbows straight, flipping the palms down, hands by the side in the T position. And then finally, 10 seconds by the side, elbows straight, pushing the palms to the ceiling in that fashion. So shoulders are nice and primed up, ready to rock it here. So next thing we got to do is we got to get after some upper back or some T-spine action. It's going to be really important not only for the toes to bars, but also for the thrusters. You're going to be in that upright position here. You don't want your upper back to kind of hunch down. It's going to be a lot of rounds, 20 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a version. You guys have probably seen the child's pose, right? Just kind of hanging out here. What we're going to do here is we're going to make this active. So we're going to get into this child's pose just like you see here. Except once we're here, we're going to keep the hips up just a little bit. And then we're going to arch our upper back. So this is normal, no arching. This is arched. And I'm going to squeeze the muscles in my upper back to create this arch. And I'm going to hold this and keep squeezing here for 10 seconds and keep squeezing and keep squeezing. And then I'm going to go ahead and reverse that just on the upper back, flexing it now for 10 seconds. So all of the motion and all the activations happening in my upper back. And then I go back to the arching of the upper back, squeezing those upper back muscles again for 10 seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and flex again. So I'm flexing and extending both positions, arching that upper back, flexing that upper back while my shoulders are overhead. So we're getting a little bit of a lat stretch in there as well. So now we got the T-spine, we got the shoulders taken care of. Next thing we're going to do is we got to get a little bit of ab activation going on here, especially for those toes to bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down on the ground. We're going to do a modified hollow body position. And what this is going to look like, this position here on the mat appropriately, is we're going to put our legs up in the air. Hopefully we can get to a 90-degree angle here. If you guys are struggling with this, you only can get up to here. That's telling me and telling you that your hamstrings are tight. So that's another video. You guys got to work on those hamstrings. But anyways, I'm not going to give you some tough love now. What we're going to do, we're going to keep those quads nice and locked out, the knees straight. Low back is down into the ground. That's the most important piece of this. Really engaging those abs. We're going to punch the arms up, and we're going to reach and squeeze and hold this for 10 seconds. Really getting those abs engaged. We're going to keep punching up with the arms, lifting the shoulders off of the mat, and we're going to slowly lower and come back up. And really squeezing here again for 10 seconds. So I'm doing my best to reach up as far as I can with my upper body as my legs stay straight and my low back stays pushing down into the ground. Really activating the whole front of the abs there and slowly lowering and coming back up. And again, holding. So I'm going to do 10-second pauses with that, or I should say 10-second holds as my legs slowly lower, getting some hip activation in those hip flexors, which is going to be important for those toes to bars. All right, so we got the hips now. We got to get those hips going. So we got two more, really kind of three more movements, but two more depending on your time. So we've got to get these glutes in this hip flexion nice and stretched out and activated for those thrusters. So what we're going to do, we're going to go on hands and knees. We're going to go on the left side this time. We're going to flip the left foot by the left hand. I'll show you guys another angle here in just a second. But what we're going to do is essentially we're going to push our chest down to the ground. And I'll actually show you that position here right now. So you're going to do what I just showed you there. And this is that same position we were in. And so from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my knee away from my left arm. And as I do that, I'm going to push my chest down to the ground until I feel a nice stretch here in this kind of groin and glute area here. And once I'm there, I'm going to activate. So I'm going to think about driving my leg down into the ground, my foot, and I'm going to activate these glutes here. And I'm going to really push down into that ground. And I'm going to hold it, trying to get as much activation while I'm stretched out here. And after I hold it for about 10 seconds, I'm going to really push my hands down into the ground. I'm going to activate my abs. And then I'm going to try to lift my foot, my left leg, off of the ground, activating all these hip flexor muscles right in this area here. And I'm going to hold that for 10 seconds. And then I'm going to push my chest down a little bit lower. And again, I'm going to do the same thing, hopefully get a little deeper in the stretch this time. And again, push down into the ground for 10 seconds. So I'm directly pushing my front leg through that ground for 10 seconds. After that 10 seconds, I'm getting my abs engaged, pushing my hands through the ground and trying to lift my left leg for 10 seconds. So it's really going to stretch out and activate those hip muscles. Then I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the other side. So we got the double unders now. So double unders, got a little bit of shoulder activation in there. We took care of that. But we got to get these calves and these feet nice and stretched out and activated. So a good piece for that is it's also going to do a little core activation here. We're going to essentially get into a plank position here. Now you've got two options. And so option one is to essentially go double-legged. Option two is single-leg. But I want you to try option single leg if possible. So what we're going to do is essentially we're going to flex one hip up. We're going to keep this nice plank position, and then we're going to let our heel that's on the straight leg fall back as far as we can. The key here is to keep that knee straight. And so now when I'm here, I'm squeezing the muscles on the front of my shin or of my tibia. So I'm thinking about driving my heel back as I squeeze the muscles all on the front of on this leg that's straight. I'm going to hold that for 5 seconds. Then I'm going to push up on my tiptoes and really squeeze my calves so the muscles on the back of the lower leg. I'm going to hold that for 5 seconds. And then I'm going to slowly lower back down and let my heel try to get as low to the ground as I can, stretching out the back of that calf, squeezing the muscles in the front of the shin bone again. That's the tibialis anterior muscles. I'm going to hold that for 5 seconds. Coming all the way back up, squeezing those calf muscles as hard as I can. I'm squeezing here. And then again, I'm lowering back down. And I'm going to go through that cycle here a bunch of different times for each leg. So I'm coming up and I'm coming down, keeping a nice plank position as I do that. So if I'm on my left leg now, same deal, pushing that heel back, squeezing the muscles on the front of this shin bone, 5 seconds, coming up into that tiptoe piece, squeezing those calf muscles and back down. So 5 seconds each direction. So that's your whole body's warmed up at this point. And if you're doing it with the intensity that you should be doing it, you should be working up a little sweat. Last thing you're going to do is you're going to take your dumbbell that you're going to use most likely, or you can use a kettlebell if you got one close like me. And we're just going to sit in a nice deep squat and really get used to being in that end range position for those thrusters. So essentially, hopefully I don't lose you guys here. We're going to get into a nice squat position, and we're just going to hold a nice front rack. But we're going to stay active here. So we're going to keep on driving our knees out to the side, not letting them cave in, not letting our shoulders dip forward. Nice upright position here. And we're just holding here, feeling our glutes engage, feeling our T-spine that we just stretched out and activated, engaged. And just to show you guys the side view here, we're getting into our squat. Again, I'm not hunching forward, nice upright back, pushing those hips out, feeling those glutes engaged. And I'm going to hold this here for a good 60 seconds. And we're just going to kind of live in this position. We're going to breathe. If you guys are struggling here and you can't get as deep, then go ahead and go up to a rig or something you can hold on to and just help yourself in that fashion. And then from there, your body is fully primed up, warmed up, activated, stretched, ready to go. And now you're just going to do some kind of skill-specific work. So you're going to take a lighter pair of dumbbells, rock out a few of those thrusters. You're going to do a few toes to bars here at a low to moderate pace. And then just grab that jump rope, get your coordination down. Do maybe a couple sets of 10 double unders, maybe 20, depending on your fitness level. A big piece for this is the grip and the hand here. So definitely make sure you're shaving off those calluses, good callus care. You don't want to be ripping. A lot of people are ripping already at this point. And if you need to wear grips, definitely wear grips. So, hey guys, that was an all-inclusive, not only mobility, stretching warm-up, but you're activated, you're primed, you're ready to go. So a good mobility routine should double as your warm-up. So if you guys are just passive stretching, getting a band and putting it up on that rig and just kind of hanging out there and relaxing, it's not the most optimal way to stretch. That's what we call passive stretching. Passive stretching has been shown to decrease athletic performance. Not only that, but passive stretching before an athletic endeavor has been shown to increase injury rates. So if you guys are just kind of rolling around on a foam roller, doing your thing, and you don't really know what you're doing, or you're hanging out, passive stretching, you got to make sure that time that you're putting in on your warm-ups and your stretching is really effective. And so that's what we do at Movement Vault. We take the guesswork out. We give you guys a new flexibility, mobility, and activation routine every day. It's around 15 minutes in length on our website, so you can stream it from any device. We've got users all over the world, thankfully. We're appreciative of our Movement Vault fam. What's going on, Movement Vault fam, if you're watching this? So yeah, just logging in on their phone, following the routines every day, hits different parts of the body. You can also use our filter function to search out for specific areas of the body. We've got an app that's going to be launching soon. Really stoked for that. We're releasing our new website. A lot of cool things on the forefront, but I'm going to end it at that, guys. So 20.2, you guys are ready to go. Go ahead and crush those workouts, guys. You guys have all the tools. We gave you the tools. You build the castle. With that, guys, don't forget to like, share this video, comment if you guys have any questions. We're very, in touch with everyone, depending on if you're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're seeing this, different platform. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. And with that, guys, good luck. Crush it. We'll see you guys next time.